Hello?
Turn it on?
Yeah.
You did turn it on?
Yeah. Yours was right next to the cell. On the cell.
I plugged into the right. I heard something. Say something. On your mic.
Check 1 2. Check live. I think I'm turned up pretty damn loud though.
Yeah, it's turned up loud on here.
I don't know which one.
Yeah, turn it down. These are way too high.
Check. I can't hardly hear this one. The other one I could hear into, but this other one's quieter. What are you doing? Check, check. This is mic 1. Mic 1 needs turned up a little more. Check, check. Can you hear it? Check.
Yeah.
I might take mic 1 because I think this one's working better. Check 1 2. Check. This one's nice and loud.
Give me another try.
Well, you're gonna have to wait for her to. Live here from Aurora, Missouri, just off the City Hall Square, as I'm joined with my wife, videoing, and Aunt Kim Estes McCully Mobley.
Hey, you got them all in there.
I did. I know you got to take a test.
I know.
But yeah, we had a little precipitation tonight, but we are going to move forward. Approximately 15 minutes or so until the tree lighting. Something like that. It's 5:46. We were told that they're going to do it right at 6 o'clock, but this production wouldn't be possible, Kim, without the Aurora Alumni Center and the Aurora Chamber of Commerce, so we appreciate both of them jumping in. But
you bet.
Even though Mother Nature tried to maybe throw a little cloud on today, overall, it was a great day.
It was. And I was telling, my Kimmy tales and stories of decades past. Some of our best memories and best events have been in the midst of sleet, snow, rain, things that, just in the Ozarks or anywhere really that you can't always predict or control Mother Nature. So the magic of it is when everybody pulls together and makes that magic happen.
Yes.
And does the right thing. And, hats off to the city of Aurora, Hannah Rader, the Garden Exchange, Ashley Kennedy, Marcia Egan. I know I'm leaving somebody out, Brandy Cook. And, a lot of key people just came together to do all kinds of things this week. And we've got a lot of things happening for the next month and then on into the year. And, it's a fun time to be living and working here in Aurora. And
this kind of
good time.
This kind of kicks off the holiday season today.
It does.
We know it's coming, but this makes it more real.
It does. It does. the decorations are beautiful, and we've got
hats
some
off.
music playing in the background.
Hats off to the city department too. I know those street guys have been working hard to decorate the town as well.
They have. They have. They've done a really good job. I've been giving them a hard time and taking their photos and trying to get them to do some choreography for me, but they're stellar.
Well, anyone that knows you, I was teasing you earlier, you are kind of like the paparazzi. Anyway, growing up with you, I have been nobody. Jake, probably your son, probably leads the league in Aurora Advertiser pictures. If not, he's up there on the Mount Rushmore.
I don't know. You'd be close, and Cody would be close, and we've just got lots of family and friends that would be close seconds. I always like taking pictures of people who I knew their names.
yeah. But a lot of folks, you were the editor of the Aurora paper for years.
Was.
You're unofficially Aurora's historian.
Okay.
Well,
That doesn't mean I'm old, does it? What are you saying?
I'm not being mean.
Okay.
But, realistically, if somebody wants a little tidbit or fact about Aurora, you may or may not know it, but I'm willing to bet you'll find the answer.
I know a lot of it, and if I don't know it, I will be on the hunt to find it and try to prove it 2 or 3 different ways. So I do like being a little bit of a historian. That's fun for me.
Well, I've been checking some boxes today. I got a selfie with Santa.
Yes.
I got a selfie with the Grinch. And then earlier across the street, the tallest buddy elf, also known as Waylon Doty, got to check that box as well.
Yeah.
So Mother Nature's not going to slow me down today.
No. And
But,
now, did you tell Santa that you've been good?
Yes, but I didn't cut in front of a kid. Let's just get this for the record. But in between kids, I did take my moment, and we didn't have a lot of time to chit chat, but he asked me if I was radio or TV. I told him radio, and he said unfortunately he's more photogenic, and it was Bass Pro Santa. It wasn't just any Santa.
So it's a real Santa.
It was the real deal. Yeah. So we're approximately 10 minutes away or so across the street here. They have a stage set up with a tent, so to speak. And an hour ago, me and you and my wife was at Doty Trash Service, and there wasn't a soul on the square.
No.
And now they are starting to migrate this way.
They are. I'd say we've got 75 maybe trickling in.
And also, we want to give a shout out to Ed Whitty for letting us have this shelter across the street from the tree. He has an awning, and we looked at the weather coming up, and it was kind of taboo this week.
I know.
Diana did not want me to talk about the weather because she had a booth. But it is what it is, and we did get hit, but it held off for the most part.
It did.
The sun never did shine, but I kind of feel like it is on us tonight because I got to see a lot of kids with some smiles on their faces, especially, man, when you get to see Santa and then the Grinch just kind of running around the streets of Aurora. It's been a great day, and more folks are coming out, and hopefully I'm not going to have to let some folks know that they're going to be blocking my wife's view here in a little bit. And especially season's greetings to all our friends, family that are not able to make it or maybe out of town. This is Thanksgiving weekend, Kimmy.
Absolutely. And, of course, we're having our family festivities tomorrow.
We are. I got invited this year. Thank you for that.
You get invited every year. Stop that.
but no, I'll leave a little bit of room to eat some more good eatings tomorrow. But, hats off to all the businesses that jumped in. And, they also – I never did hear maybe we can get a privy here after a while on who won the street pole light contest. I have seen the last 2 or 3 days a lot of folks taking pride in decorating the poles for their business or even their family.
Right. There's been a lot of decorating going on downtown and a lot of trees along the square, a lot of businesses and groups. I know my students at Aurora High School, the media kids and the leadership kids decorated a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And put a lot of thought into that. And I know Jasmine's Journals, First Independent Bank, several that I was eyeballing today as I was walking around the square, put a lot of time and trouble and effort into their creativity. So
yeah, and another thing, there was 61 vendors downtown today, and not all of them were local.
No.
Some of them I heard come from Willard, Springfield.
I bought a little snowman from a guy from Lebanon today. Yeah.
So we had 61 that was on the vendor list, and hopefully a lot of them had a good day. But, festivities started around 9 a.m. today. There was, like I said, vendors. There was a lot of activities for the kids. Obviously, I mean,
Yes.
we're all kids at heart, or some of us more than others.
Very true.
But, there's a lot of kids' activities. There's live entertainment until the rain. But with Santa, and then the carriage rides. I even see one of your old classmates, Tammy,
Yes.
jumped on the carriage
Tammy
today.
and Nancy Swearingen Maury were both, and Tammy Bowman Childress were both on the carriage rides, and then all three of us actually walked around the square and then took some Christmas photos in front of the steps and in front of the Christmas trees, and we were kind of reminiscing how long has it been since we've done that, because we all three used to walk downtown Aurora quite often and end up at B. Bowman's for chili and
Old Bees.
whatever she wanted to have us do at Bees Inn and the Squeeze Inn
I remember
back
having
in the
some-
day.
I
And
remember having some breakfast at Bees.
we figured it's been about 41, 42 years since the three of us have walked to the square together. So that was cool.
So earlier we were visiting, obviously off air, but be real. You said back when you were young, kind of some of this. Well, I didn't mean that wrong. Younger, how's that?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, a couple decades ago
back
or
in the
so.
day.
Just tell me about some of the things because you said you felt some similarities today.
Lots of nostalgia today. In the 60s, when I grew up, of course, all these downtown businesses were full.
Yeah.
And there were shops and clothing stores and beauty shops and barbers and just all kinds there was something in every building. And usually the last 3 weeks or so before Christmas, all of them would stay open late to accommodate shoppers.
Right.
And people who worked. And of course, my folks were both working class folks and didn't get off work till 4:30 or 5. And we would come down, we'd eat a quick supper and come down and shop and walk around. And there was always a Santa and there was always music playing. And I remember one time when I think it was the Days, Sandy Brown's parents
Yeah.
actually drug out some big old cardboard boxes and let us make little houses out of them and kind of have our own little winter wonderland going on. And that's what, as I was walking around, I just had memories of them. I had memories of B. Bowman and all of those different businesses and industries that were in downtown Aurora that let us kind of, celebrate the holiday season. It was fun. It was a fun time to be here.
Yeah, and looks like they are lining up, getting closer to the tree lighting. We're going to try to capture that tree lighting, and hopefully some folks see that we have a camera and that we are going across the street to try to view the Christmas tree. And I'm going to be real nice about it so far. We're only a couple minutes away, so now more people are kind of maybe hearing what I got to say. But a lot of people took pride in decorating the town and getting ready for this, and it couldn't have happened with everybody not coming together, Kim. And I know you're about the town, but I take a little more pride this week just seeing how everybody come together, and the city and the Garden Exchange and everybody. Like you said, there was a committee. There was a lot of folks that had their hand in it. But first of all, I appreciate that, and I want to tell all them that are listening, thank you.
Absolutely.
So we are getting closer to the tree
The
lighting.
countdown.
Yeah. Hey, ma'am. We're good. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so we are getting closer. I don't know. I see Santa's over there now, so he's here. I don't know who's gonna. Who's gonna do the Griswold and plug the.
I
plug
kind
it
of
in?
think maybe John Holmes is gonna give the command or the countdown. I'm not sure. I know
Okay.
there's about 9 or 10 people that have to be in position and
It's like
plug
synchronized.
something in. Yeah.
Synchronized. Cody, are they counting down? Okay, looks like we are getting close. Hello. All right. And there it goes.
Yay!
Yes. Okay. All right. So, it did happen. Was there a couple people right in the way? Yeah, well, it's going to happen. So,
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, we're not done yet anyway. But there's always.
Yeah, you can see it. That's good.
So, a lot of businesses also jumped in. I want to give every one of them credit today. Garden Exchange, Jimmy Mitchell Motors, Maryville Power Sports, Doty Trash Service, Hudson Collision, Aurora R8 School District, Arvis Bank, Aurora Animal Clinic, Century 21 Family Tree, Benjamin Gallion, the dentist, and BCP Ingredients, Walmart, Red Roots Boutique, Pettit Law Office, Mercy Hospital, Liberty Utilities, First Independent Bank, Modern Variety, and the Aurora Advertiser. And, it looks like the rain may be starting to pick up again now, and it was almost where it stopped for a little, or let up a little bit, Kim.
Yeah.
And now it is starting to maybe some more buckets.
It looks like it's going to be a steady drizzle here. But it's beautiful. Look at the lights and the people walking around. Some people have umbrellas and raincoats. Some people are smarter than me.
Yeah, and I see some of Aurora's finest walking the square. We are in a safe place down here as we are appreciative of the awning. Sometimes, one of my old buddies said, sometimes you got to do a little recon, so to speak.
Absolutely.
And once again, I want to thank Ed Whitty for giving us the opportunity to come down here and capture it. And now there is still some entertainment over across the street, and the folks are trying to do their best. But I think Santa's still over there. I think I've seen him through the folks.
Yeah, I think he's there somewhere.
I got to give props to him, man. I know he's got a lot going on right now, especially this close to Christmas. But
he's tough.
So what are some of your more fonder memories of downtown at Christmas time, Kimmy?
Well, it was just, I was talking about his Buddy the Elf. It was a nice time to grow up in the 60s and 70s because all of these buildings were full and vibrant and full of people that, we didn't always have businesses that opened on Saturdays, or if they did, they might close at noon. Of course, nobody was open back then, hardly on Sundays.
Right.
And it was just a different time. But I can remember shopping with your dad. We'd have all of our allowance all counted up and try to divide it to go where we could go buy presents. And of course, somehow I thought in my little 5- and 6-year-old brain that he was always hosing me somehow. And
well, you were the youngest of three.
I was.
For those that didn't know that.
I was. And believe it or not, I'm still the nicest. I don't know that I can prove that, but I am. Of the three of us, I am the nicest.
Okay.
We're just going to take my word for it.
Not going to argue.
There's a little mean streak in all of us.
Sure.
But it was a great time to grow up in Aurora. And then fast forward when you guys were all growing up, and even Jake, there were a handful of us that had a handful of Christmas festivals back in the day. I know Darlene, Elsie Ackerman, she had some ideas of a winter wonderland, and I know the Chamber helped, I know Main Street helped, and we had lots of support. I don't remember that we had quite the support from the city back then when we had art events, but I'm sure
maybe
there
some
were
of them
a few.
Aren't alive no more if they are listening.
Maybe, and I don't know that it was intentional. I think it was maybe that they just had other things that were keeping them busy, other things that they had to do, and maybe we didn't ask.
And it was before the internet.
It was.
Give them a little bit out there.
So we did depend a lot on the newspaper and the radio station for support and PR and kind of word of mouth. But we had some events back in the day that were pretty fun and pretty cold. We do have a Christmas parade in a couple of weeks, December 10th at 2 o'clock. Lineup that day will be around 1 o'clock in the typical places over near the junior high, Roosevelt, that area, Roosevelt and College, I believe. Shannon Walker, Dawn Marie Opplinger, they have it down to a science, and I just do what they tell me. They will have lots of floats and lots of things going on that night. There's a side-by-side Christmas where they'll be doing a route and delivering presents all over town. We've got some entertainers here. We've got some dancers. Do you see them in front of us?
No, we just got knocked off partially air here, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And we are back, just like that. Yeah. We are still live on the camera, though. But we did lose a little bit of audio there for a minute. I don't know, it was a hiccup, but it did kick off. But we're okay. I think through the web part that we were still on. But we are back on.
We were talking about the Christmas parade on December the 10th, 2 o'clock. And I believe it's something about Christmas wish list is our theme. And we'll be having floats and walking units and bands and things that day. Typical parade route, it will line up over by the junior high. And I mentioned that Shannon Walker, Dawn Opplinger, they have it down to a science, and I just usually try to do what they tell me. Then that night I know is the side-by-side Christmas that Laura Lee Vaught.
That's the 10th?
That's the 10th.
That's all the same day? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's at night, and everybody with a side-by-side, a four-wheeler, a golf cart, anything that has lights and a motor.
We were at that meeting at the chamber. Yep. She said even if you had farm equipment,
yes,
close to it. And I guess let the folks that were in that meeting what their goal is per side-by-side and what they're going to do.
I think there's an entry fee, and then they all are to buy presents, and they'll be delivering those presents and those needs for the foster kids program, Hope for the Holidays, maybe the nursing center, and a couple other places.
Yeah.
The flyers are all over social media, but this is going to be quite an event. They're going to be decorated and lit up and riding around that night as well.
Yeah, and something like this, you got to start planning for it months in advance, obviously. But this late in the year, obviously, we never know what the weather is going to do. But, a lot of folks had their hand in this, so to speak, to make this happen.
Right.
And, I like the communication, as sometimes you said in decades past, not to make you feel old.
You're right.
But sometimes there was a lack of communication. But this day and age with social media and everything, there's not many cop-outs where there is an opportunity to communicate. But I was so proud to wait. Even on like Tuesday this week, there was people that were down here, and it wasn't just city workers, decorating poles and taking pride in their town, man. And now I'm seeing folks dancing with umbrellas.
I know.
I'm going to throw Hannah Rader under the bus. I saw her dancing under the umbrella. But still, to make this happen, like I said, I had to have a lot of planning and just to make it work, and then hope that it didn't rain, but which we knew, more times than not. Unfortunately, I am the head meteorologist down there on Saturdays because I'm the only one there, and I saw a 92% chance of rain. I just didn't know when it was going to happen.
Right.
So what else you got for me here?
Well, I was going to say that the side-by-side Christmas cruise will start at Rockinay Saddle Club at 6 o'clock on the 10th.
Okay.
Parking and registration starts at 5. There's a $10 entry fee, and there are 4 stops. 1 unwrapped gift or gift card per stop.
Awesome.
And their benefits go to Hope for the Holidays Christian Service Center for the Kids Foster Care Program in OCAC.
Okay.
So trophies will be given for Best Decorated. Prizes are sponsored by Marionville Power Sports, so that's surely to be a fun time. And it looks like they have a rain date set for Sunday night at 5.
Oh, they're going to make up date just in case?
Sunday night at 5 in case it rains.
Cool. I think Laura Lee said that was kind of her idea. I think she'd seen it happen in Springfield
I think
before.
so too.
But, it's all going to go to a good cause. So, and a lot of folks are going to jump in on that. And that's after the parade. So a lot of those side-by-sides will probably still be in the parade.
I think so. And still be around.
So,
right.
I don't know. I wish I could give credit to whoever's singing in the rain, but they're still performing. And, like I said, the show must go on. Historically, obviously, I'm an employee of Talon Media, but when did my dad start down at KSWM?
It would have been in the mid to late 70s.
Okay.
Of course, you were born in 75.
Yes.
And they were living here then. Before that, he had worked at KBTN Radio in the O Show, and then they had moved here, and we're building a house. In fact, for a little bitty while, they lived with us. That was fun. And he was actually working part-time for the radio station and part-time for the newspaper. Sports editor for the newspaper and DJ and news director, I believe, for KSWM. And he had a long day, and then he'd go back to doing play-by-play and stuff at night. And he actually hired me.
What?
He did.
As what? Your stat girl?
I was a reporter.
Oh.
I started out as a reporter in the late 70s when I was in school, and I would be doing help him with remotes, kind of like what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And then I covered a lot of school events. And then as I went to college, I stayed on at the newspaper and worked part-time until it burnt.
Oh.
And on Valentine's Day of 81.
Wow.
And your dad actually was the one who laid me off because he didn't want anybody else thinking he was playing favorites. So I still worked for a while and wrote some stories and did some things and helped them get back on their feet, but it was for no pay.
Well,
For
the love of the game.
For the love of the game. And then it was in my blood by that point, and I worked at the Lawrence County Record, Marysville Free Press, Monette Times, and gradually worked my way back to Aurora by 87, I believe, October of 87.
I guess I didn't realize that, but even when I was in high school, I didn't get paid for it, but you sent me to Maryville back when those girls were winning the state championship.
I did.
And I would take some photos for you at basketball games. So,
I'm sure I paid you something.
well, probably got me another present or something. But yeah, I don't remember greenbacks.
Oh, I don't know.
But I don't remember saying no either.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it's
It's a
kinda
family affair.
It's kind of funny how it comes back around.
It is, and that's one of the things that's really fun for me to still be able to be in Rotary with you and Jake and have you and Cody and Diana down here with me at all these events, and
Yeah.
it's like the gift that keeps on giving. It's what our folks, your grandparents and my folks had planned, I think, back in the day.
Yeah, it's funny how life works. You can have a plan or a blueprint, but a lot of times you don't know how it's going to turn out. But still, it's good times to be able to do this with you. And like I said, Christmas is here. Even though it's day after or a couple days after Thanksgiving, this does kick off the holiday season, Kimmy.
It does.
And, and I know you were already kind of in the mood and festive. Hell, it doesn't bother you to wear Christmas in July.
Hey, be nice. Be nice.
But yeah, it is fun to.
There's a bag of all my old Christmas stuff that's actually going home with you tomorrow, so be nice.
Hand-me-downs. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, being in Rotary with you, and then also the Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
You're in I'm only in a couple clubs, but you wear a lot of different hats, but you're also entwined in the community, and you know a lot what's going on, and kind of help me pivot to figure out some of the things that are going on in town. But it's all for a good cause, and you've been friends with some of these city leaders and business owners longer than me. But some of them I've known most of my life, but I am just a little younger than you.
Just a little. I love all the connections. I was, seeing people and hugging them and greeting them today on the street, and just all the different connections and layers through the years that we all have. I love the stories. I love the smiles on their faces. I love to see people come running down the street. And, I had Jackie Stevens was making candles and, introduced me to her boyfriend today. And it's just, I got to see several former students.
I was going to ask you about that, coming back home for the holidays.
I did. I got to see several former students, and it was just really fun to catch up and fun to see their face light up, and they didn't, actually run and hide and go the other direction. So I just think Aurora is the best place to be. I think we're a great community. We're a thriving community. We're survivors.
Yeah.
I think we're tough. We've got grit. We've got what it takes. We work things out. And we're resourceful. We've had a lot of highs and lows through the years, but
Sure.
Our story is pretty phenomenal when you look at it. It's a great story.
All roads lead what?
All roads lead home.
Yeah, you got those socks on?
I do.
I didn't look. You really do. I know you better than you think. But yeah, for a lot of folks that don't know Kim as well, she does have one son, my cousin Jake McCulley. But a lot of times when I'm around the public, I hear a lot of former students and students call her Mama Mobley.
I like that. I like Mama Mobes and Mama Mobley a lot. One of the things that I didn't ever really see myself as an educator or a school teacher. I always saw myself as a journalist and a writer and a historian, but I've always felt a little bit like an imposter when it comes to the classroom. But oh my goodness, it's been a wonderful journey. It's been a great adventure. I learn as much from the kids as I think they learn from me. I try to make sure that my room is a place where they're safe, happy, and loved. And, especially last year after the whole COVID fiasco
Right.
that Al and I had, and my big timeout that Jack Minch laughs at me about. I promised God a lot of things, and I promise to continue to serve the school and community, my family and friends, every way I know how, because I really feel like they're what saved me.
Yeah.
And
you had a lot of prayer warriors out there.
I did, and there's some magic behind that as well, and I feel like there's a purpose. So maybe I haven't been that imposter that I thought I was all along, maybe, but there are some lessons to be learned both ways here, and I'm ready to see what the next leg of the adventure brings pretty soon. So we'll see what that looks like.
And some folks that at home don't know, she was very sick due to COVID. What was it? Less than
About a year and
ago.
a half ago.
Okay, a year and a half ago. And at the time, I didn't know a year and a half later that we'd be able to
No.
sit here and
No.
do what we're doing right now.
No.
So, but yeah, but you didn't hear no bell, and hey, I love you, but you are kind of stubborn. So I knew it was going to take a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little stubborn. I did make a lot of promises. I gotta try to make good on all those promises.
Well, I think you have. And so we got the Christmas parade coming up in a couple weeks. Do you have anything that you want to talk about coming into the new once we turn the calendar?
I do want to give kudos to all the people last week that froze to death and helped me with Daffodil Day. We planted 1,000 daffodils.
It was cold that day.
It was very
blowing.
cold. We planted them all over Aurora, and we partnered with the City of Aurora, Project Rise, the Chamber of Commerce, Aurora High School, and the Alumni Center. And the kids and the adults that partnered with them were just amazing. They were dead set on getting those daffodils planted, and they did.
1,000.
1,000 of them. Most of the communities that applied for this Community Foundation Daffodil Grant got 250.
Okay.
The max you could apply for was 1,000. We decided to go big or go home because of Brian Fogel.
Oh yeah.
And Aurora, we always go big or go home.
Sure.
So Brian Fogel is the president of CFO, also hometown hero of Aurora.
I think he
basketball player.
He broke a couple dads' records
He
back
did.
in the middle 70s, right?
He did. And so we just wanted to really pay homage and tribute to him and his legacy of philanthropy throughout the Ozarks. And he's been very good to Aurora and very good to us. And so we wanted to celebrate Community Foundation of the Ozarks 50th anniversary in style in the spring when all this yellow starts popping up. And we also plan to honor Brian Fogel in February with Brian Fogel Day. Adam Thornhill at the basketball games always honors a legacy of some sort.
I like Adam.
I love Adam.
I feel like I've known him longer than 4 years.
Isn't that something?
I feel like he's a hound. He is a hound dog, but I feel like he was here.
He gets it. He gets it.
He does. He dives into the history, and no better person to talk to than you about that.
Well, he realizes that there have been people doing a lot of cool things here for years and been passing the torch off to each generation. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that kids know, that they're part of that legacy. They're part of that puzzle, and that piece of the puzzle that they're going to be passing it off to the next generation. And we're not all-star material,
right,
but we all have a role to play in some kind of team or collaboration to make the magic happen, and we're all winners.
Yeah.
And so that's what he tries to instill in them, and he tries to tell them stories and show them pictures and newspaper articles and all kinds of things. And so we'll be honoring Brian Fogel in February. That's also homecoming on the 10th. And we might have a couple other surprises, people that we're going to honor that night that we're trying to put together.
Awesome.
And then we are also working on expanding the nonprofit status of the Alumni Center. And
let folks know where and what that is.
It is the old Armory.
Right.
And it is located across from the junior high campus.
The old high school.
The old high school, just south of the mill. Mm-hmm. And 5-6 years ago, when central office administration people bought the school district bought the old bank building downtown and moved central office location, I began to email Travis Shaw ever so often, who was our superintendent then. Mm-hmm. I thought I was emailing him ever so often until he showed up in my room one day with this look on his face that said, "Quit emailing me. Put a plan together, write a grant, let's talk, but no more emails." But
Santa.
I just,
Yeah, Santa's still over there.
I kept saying, we have a plan, and we want to preserve, promote, and protect Aurora's story, the hound dog story, and the community story.
Yeah.
And I think that building would be the perfect place. And so we've been working over there for about 6 years. We've done some landscaping, built a pavilion, installed some flagpoles, getting ready to do a veterans garden. We've got some storyboards and mural panels on the inside and the outside.
Wow.
And, COVID set us back a little bit because we kind of shut everything down and then worked on COVID baskets and food and cleaning items and different things. But it is an outreach and community center. It focuses on a lot of history. It's interactive history. We've got classrooms, we've got computers. So we're going to be doing some more things there as we expand our nonprofit status and look at partnering with some different entities and some different people. I've been talking with Missouri Humanities. I've been talking to some people in Jefferson City, been visiting with some county officials. We're kind of pulling out all the stops to look at possibilities when it comes to shared resources.
Yeah.
And shared purpose, mission, vision, and goals. And, that's something your dad used to say a lot, that, together we know a lot. And,
we all know a little.
And then
But
together yes.
we know a lot. I heard that a couple times.
I've heard it too. And I thought, I'm going to pursue that thought just a little bit and kind of focus on the Alumni Center's outreach efforts and just see how far that will go. And I'm going to be asking for permission. I'm going to be asking for blessings. I'm going to be asking for letters of good faith. But so far, a lot of doors and opportunities have opened.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of looking to see where else we can go.
Yeah, and it wasn't too long ago your Alumni Center got a facelift on the outside.
It did. It is beautiful. It got painted and repaired this summer. And it is, if people haven't driven by and seen it, they really need to see it because it's just beautiful. It really is.
So the hours on that is sparse sometimes. Obviously you're at the high school, but tell some of the folks what is in the Alumni Center.
We have trophies. We have mural panels. We have storyboards. We have been restoring old pictures. We've been matting them and framing them and hanging them back on the walls. We've got 2 different gallery walls that I call on the east and west side that you can walk down the length and kind of tell what's going on by looking at the different pictures on each side of the wall.
Right.
We've got a trophy room. We've got a room upstairs that we use to repair old trophies. We've got a lot of old archives, artifacts, newspaper clippings, jerseys, leather jackets, you name it. When we did the Smithsonian exhibit a few years ago, we put together some exhibits of our own, and we still have those. We've got more things than we can display, and then we also have to preserve a couple of work areas because, my plan is to have some classes and workshops and sessions and bring people in.
Yeah.
I also have a plan for a website and to digitize all those archives so that anybody that wants to look up certain things will be able to look up things without coming in and handling things.
Right. Other ways to find that fact.
Right. And then I also hope we can get our board. I have a great board. I have Jack Minch, Jake McCulley, Michelle Parbury, Scott Pettit. I'm leaving somebody off. Bob Jernigan, Marcia Sadler.
Hound dogs that care.
Hound dogs that care, and they always work hard. They always make things happen, and they serve on a lot of different boards and clubs and organizations as well,
Yeah.
and a lot of them overlap. But we hope to maybe even someday find additional facilities to exhibit some of our things in and showcase some of our work in. We're not exactly sure if that's going to be a storefront, if that's going to be a historic home. We're just kind of going to be looking at some different possibilities in the future because I do know there's some grants out there for that, and I've been talking to some people about that. So we'll just see what kind of things open up. I am hoping within the next couple years to streamline my schedule a little bit to where I can be over there more and maybe open it up on Saturday afternoons or Friday afternoons,
Right.
and let people come in. Right now it's by appointment or special event or a reunion. But we'd like to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
We've got some dancers here.
Not exactly the Rockettes, but
Close.
Yeah.
Close.
What was it? 2 or 3 years ago, Kimmy, that that Smithsonian came through.
It was actually 4.
Okay, time flies. That's probably about right.
Yeah, it was
okay.
4.
And that was very informative.
It was wonderful.
I mean, I got to see some of the artifacts and stuff, but I learned something.
Yeah.
That one of the 8 Men Out,
Lefty Williams.
Paul Lefty Williams.
Yep.
If you've seen that movie or the 1919 Black Sox scandal,
Yes.
he was actually born here in Aurora, Missouri, wasn't he?
He was.
That's no lie.
He was.
So, I wouldn't have known that until I went to the Smithsonian and seen it for myself.
I know.
And we hadn't talked about it in a while, but were we still a finalist?
We are
possibly?
still a finalist. We have applied for one, Crossroads, and it's the focus is culture, climate, what's your story, heritage, all kinds of different things, whether it's food, music, art,
Okay.
those kinds of things. And we're still a finalist, and I believe we are going to be qualifying for some of their programming, whether we get the next exhibit or not. Of course, it'd be
Right.
for the following school year, so 23-24. And then there's another Missouri Humanities Program signature series called Roots and Roots.
Okay.
Play on words with roots like Route 66, and then roots, what's your story?
Yeah.
And we also meet a lot of the criteria to qualify for some of that programming as well. So those are some of the things that I'm really interested in. I want to create a digital storytelling studio. Jake and I went to Springfield last spring and spent some time with StoryCorps, and they actually interview people and tell people stories and then share them through the Library of Congress and then the Folkways program. And so what I'd like to do is a baby version of that here.
Yeah.
And get people like Walt Pettit, maybe interview some players of Poss Jackson, that 69 team, the 99 team. Because it's one thing to document and take pictures and write it on
Maybe
print.
Mr. Ware, maybe.
Yeah, but it's such a cool thing to get people's stories, either video or audio or both.
Testimonies.
Yes, and I want to archive those and also have those available for people to view and listen to and add to through the years. So, because storytelling is just, with technology, it's kind of blown the roof off of the possibilities and the kinds of things that you can make and create and do.
True. Well, there's still some Bruce Willis diehard fans over there listening to there's somebody I wish I knew who was still singing, because they're singing their heart out.
Yep.
It's the rain. The buckets are here.
Maybe we could send our Rockettes over.
Maybe not. Not for sure. So, well, Kim, this has been fun. Rain or shine, like I said, we wanted to bring it. Once again, we appreciate the Aurora Chamber of Commerce and the Aurora Alumni Center for paying for the broadcasting part of the web TV to bring this to you, especially for all the folks that are maybe still out of town for Thanksgiving or live out of town. We are going to podcast this after 8:30, and will be available to watch again, even though I know you wait for the tree and all of a sudden, it's there. And I might have got loud for a time or two right at the end, right at that time where, you can see we're over here, but some people...
Bless their hearts.
It must have been
It's
their
okay.
umbrella. Bless their hearts, poor little fellas, but I'm not apologizing to nobody.
Okay.
But, yeah, that looks like the city workers are going to start opening the streets back up, and I know there's still a lot of cleanup to do, and I don't know if the city guys are going to do all that tonight. I know partly they probably have to open some of it back up and then maybe come back tomorrow to finish it up. But a lot of people had their hands in this.
They did.
To make this happen today. And like I said, to me, the best part of the day was when I was out there or down the street with Santa Claus, getting to see those kids' face come in and hearing some of their wish lists and things like that. Made me feel young again. But when you're a kid, you're just so innocent.
I know.
And now I can't.
But it's still the magic of the season. I love it. And I'd like to give a special shout out to our favorite redhead, Shannon Walker, for partnering with me to make this remote happen tonight. And
I think she had some prior obligations.
She did.
Cameo.
She runs her tail off, and I can't keep up with her on her worst day. And I'm just so proud that, she's a part of our community and a diehard sounding board for advice, what works, what doesn't, what's historically, politically correct.
Everybody's got an opinion, don't they?
You bet. And I just really appreciate her, and I appreciate all the support she gives my kids and the school. And we've got Miss Holly pageant coming up this next week, so we'll see.
When is that?
It is Friday night, I believe, at Pate.
Okay.
I think maybe 7 o'clock. I need to look at my text message. I think it starts at 7, and we'll have Little Miss and a Big Miss, Holly, and I think there will be some handsome senior escorts there, Jack Klein and Ethan Hoosman. And
my grandson even won the little something.
Yeah, he did.
What did he win?
Little Mr. Hound Dog.
Little Mr. Hound Dog. Yeah, and then they'll get to go. The winners will get to be in the parade the next week.
Yes, I believe so.
The city workers are even waving at us.
There you go.
Some good kudos tonight. So yeah, that'll be. And where'd you say the Miss Holly?
I think it's at Pate.
Okay. See, I'm used to being in the old auditorium in the old high school,
Oh.
which is now the junior high, but
Right.
I'm sure they've changed venues
Well,
years ago.
the auditorium isn't there anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. See, that's where my head's at. I've been all up and down the street today, and a lot of nostalgia, like you said. I'll piggyback that word off you. And it looks like they are kind of shutting things down around here, and we'll probably wind it down as well. But like I said, if you are in the area soon, or when you can, come by and kind of see what the square and what downtown Aurora looks like, because they purdied it up, so to speak,
They
in
did.
a lot of different ways. And a lot of folks had a hand in that. And the city guys, like I know, they probably aren't having the best of fun tonight, having to take some of this stuff down.
They
and
are tough.
open the roads. But kudos to everybody that had a part in what was it called again? I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yes.
Today, and there was a lot of stress with the the weather, with Mother Nature and the weather, the possibilities, and ended up pulling it off. It might not have been the best as well, but I did see Santa take off a little bit ago, so he finally hit the bricks. He was soggy bottom, so to speak. But a lot of folks did come down, and yes, the rain probably did detour some that might have wanted to come but didn't make it, Kim. But still, you got hats off to the folks that did come down, even with their umbrellas,
True.
and get wet.
We got to give another shout out to the city guys. It looks like they're listening to us, so we need to make sure they're on Santa's good list.
Well, if they happen to have it on this station, which is KSWM AM 940, the #1 AM station on the planet.
There you go.
You bet, fellas. Appreciate all you guys that had a hand in this. And it's, like I said, the town, the city hall, everything. And then a lot of the area businesses bought the trees. And some of them folks may be out of town and can't see what their tree looks like tonight. But we were kind of waiting for the lights to pop up. And everything, like I said, hit. And it wasn't, it wasn't one or two groups. Everybody that had a part in this, hats off to you to make this happen. And I think, Kim, with last year kind of starting it and this year more folks getting together, I think it has the potential of even getting bigger.
Oh, it'll get bigger. And, these kind of events aren't for sissies. We're tough. We're resilient. And whether it's rain or shine or snow or sleet, we always come together to do the right things and make the magic happen. That's why all roads lead home.
That's right. And I want to give a special shout out to the owners of the station, Janet and Dwayne Gandy and Bill Lewis, for giving me an opportunity to come down here. It was kind of my idea, and it was fun. So I just I thank them for giving me a chance to come down here and trusting me
What were they
to
thinking?
pull this off. Because it has been a lot of fun, and this was the 6th stop of the day for me. I went to 5 other area businesses and got to show what they had and showcase. And I hope a lot of these vendors downtown that came today to town, I hope they were prospered, and I hope some of these businesses that were open downtown off Madison that prospered, and hopefully folks that didn't get in jump in the future. And don't have time to talk about it, but I've heard of some other possibilities of some of these other buildings coming back to life in the next year or two also, Kim.
I know. And I just think there's a lot of people that are excited about all the good things going on. And I look for bigger and better things in all the seasons, not just at Christmas.
True. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's why there's a naughty in a nice list, you got to go 365. You can't just candy coat it, so
What?
to speak. But even last year, down at the Garden Exchange, how many years ago was that corner kind of a cemetery, so to speak?
Well, it's been lots of things through the years. And of course, the last big business that had been there was barbecue, Hog Wild.
Right?
And that was, and they had live music and some events there, but it had been a while, and the Raiders have brought new life to that corner, and
They've kind of had a vision, and some of this has came true.
you bet, it's fun.
Well, Diana, thank you for womaning the camera, and Cody for ushering her and making sure that everybody got back. I heard you raise your voice a couple times.
And the backup dancers, the backup Rockettes over here.
Sometimes you're only as good
And
as
then
your backup dancer.
we had Brad Blankenship and Jay Lee doing some Rockette moves earlier. I don't know where they got off to.
That was
but-
about the time got kicked off the air. So I was trying to get back on the air, and we did. I think we only lost for a second. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun, Kimmy, and thanks for, co-sponsoring this. But also, no, there's no parade. But I kind of
Yes.
feel like Al Roker and Hoda or something where, we're waiting for more folks to walk by. Where's the Clydesdales, man? We got time. But, no, we better think about wrapping this up.
I know it.
But I do appreciate everybody that sponsored also some of these remotes that I came and did. And I hope, like I said, they got some traction with Talon Media coming inside their doors. And it's just been a lot of fun. But I guess it is time. All roads leave home, but also all good things come to an end.
They do. But there's always next time.
There is, yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again.
I know.
And I appreciate it. And looks like I've ran out of ball games. I've run out of things, so I'm gonna have to get out there on the hard court and maybe do some area basketball. But this was the first weekend in the 12 weeks that I did not do a football game.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of odd for me. Actually, it was. It was just different. Trained different. But anyway, we better get off here and get this equipment. We did stay dry. And once again, I want to thank Ed Whitty for giving us the shelter, so to speak, to stay dry, because it was either this or Hi-Ho Silver. We were going to have to do it from the van.
There you go.
The company van. And we could have pulled it off, but it wouldn't have been as fun.
Shelter, heat, light, what's that?
He
I
did.
love
He
it.
gave us heat, he gave us light, and shelter.
I
So,
even got a tour of the studio, so
well, it's been a lot of fun. But for those folks ready to get back to a KSWM regular programming, we will. And Kim, like I said, it's been a lot of fun.
it has.
We got some fans. So, yeah, we got some fans. Actually, Hannah Rader driving by. So, yes, all roads lead home, but all things come to an end. And
I'll see you on down the trail.
You stole it. In the morning. Or no, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
You will.
But I guess for me next Wednesday. I get Wednesdays.
Yes, you get Wednesdays.
They gave me they took my music away back in April due to some licensing on AM, but FM they let me jam on Wednesdays. So this for my sister Cody standing by, for my wife Diana, and for my Aunt Kim, this is Chad Outlaw Jr. Estes, and I promise until next time, see you on down the trail.
Bye.